Hello, this is my final reflection for the Guidance Specialist course, and I am Andy Ovenden. We're going to go through the questions that were asked in order that they were asked, and I'll give my answers to them. First of all, what gave me pause and made me think more deeply? The number of unexpected ways in which guidance counselors are used to ensure pathways are open to all students. It was interesting to me how professional learning communities, collaborative learning, making accessible the learning through UDL and differentiated learning, and looking at scheduling all ensured that pathways were open to every student in the building. Secondly, it was interesting to me the number of times that creating trust in the school community was important, whether this was with students, whether this was with parents, whether this was with teachers. All stakeholders involved require trust in the leadership team. How will you relate the knowledge you have gained to your current practice? I was really interested in looking at the leadership styles, how they related to my way of being in a classroom and in a guidance office, as well as how other teachers that I work with and guidance professionals that I work with use leadership styles. The suggestions for how to make professional learning communities more effective seemed really interesting to me, and there was a lot of really good information that was learned and how to use those to make sure that all stakeholders were involved. Looking at timelines and implementation of courses was really beneficial for my learning, as I don't spend a ton of time in the guidance office yet, and I was interested in how those things played out in other schools. And finally, encouraging mental wellness among staff and students was really important. And it was a huge part of how my learning went this time. What leadership skills will you be able to integrate into your daily work with students and other stakeholders? Things that came up often were how important people-centered leadership was. Looking at the power and privilege of different groups in the school and in our community, and how that plays into ensuring that equity and access was available to all. Again, creating PLCs and collaborative inquiry in meaningful ways is a huge part of my learning in this course, and will be able to ensure that all the students and stakeholders in my school are involved in the process. Finally, has the philosophy that you articulated at the beginning of this course changed, and how? No, my philosophy has not really changed. It just became much deeper as I thought about how important it was to know yourself as a leader, know what leadership styles you lean towards and which ones are important to work on. How important it was to act with integrity so that all stakeholders felt like they could be involved in the process and were trusted in making the right decision. And finally, the one thing when it came to leadership styles that came up over and over again is the prioritizing of people over products, ensuring that people were at the forefront of your mind, how a person was going to react to pathways, how a person was going to play out their school years. Thank you.